Hi, I'm Sean Osterlink. I've been a therapist practicing for about 8 years, and I'm getting into the realm of life coaching as well, just starting out my journey there and excited to offer that as a service for people. And so, what I'm going to talk about today are some questions for if you're doing all right in life. You're functioning pretty well. Mental health sorts of problems are not getting in your way, or you're managing them pretty well. And yet you're wanting more. You're feeling stuck in some way. You want to go further. Maybe you want to take a relationship to a higher level. Maybe you want to pursue a raise in a job or take some risk by starting a new career or business, or you want to make more time for hobbies or self-care in your life, or you want to take some chance at pursuing something that you want that would maybe make you happier or aligns with your values, something that's important to you that you want more of, or maybe it's spiritual development. You want to take your faith to the next level. You want to be pursuing God more in your life, and you're trying to figure out how can I make more of that happen. And so you want to get better in some way. You want to be growing in some way, and feels like you could maybe use the support of someone else to help keep you accountable. And that's where life coaching could come in. Someone you can bounce ideas off of, someone who can help you stay focused and moving towards those goals and keeping accountable that you're doing work towards those goals. So let's talk about some prompts that can help you, that you could potentially even use on your own in doing some work towards getting unstuck. Okay, so the first prompt I thought of, this one just seems like an obvious starting point, but where are you getting stuck? This is something that if I were to think about this myself, I would get a notebook, journal, whatever, or digital means, and write that out. Where am I getting stuck? Where am I stuck in life? What is going wrong here? What am I not getting? Another prompt that would go with that is like, what are you missing out on in life right now? Okay, where are you getting stuck? What are you missing out on? And then start to write about that. Start putting those thoughts down on paper. Like, don't just leave it there in your mind, but spend some time to actually sit with that. Give yourself 10, 15, 20 minutes and really give yourself some time to think about what is it that you're really stuck on? What are you missing out on in life? What do you want more of out of life? Okay, so for coaching is about that more. You're already doing well enough, you're functioning well enough, and yet you want to go to that higher level in some way. Okay, so what do you want more of? Okay, that's another prompt. So those are three prompts right there. Where are you getting stuck? What are you missing out on in life right now? What do you want more of? And think about that. That's a good jumping off point for creating that vision of what it would be like to be getting that. Okay, so now the next prompt is, what is getting in your way, right? What's the barrier? Why haven't you achieved this? Why haven't you moved on this already? What is stopping you from doing that? Okay. What is getting in your way? Sit down and think about that question, right? This could be something uh, you might do this all at once. You might break this down on different days to set aside some time, but I do like to encourage people towards journaling. I mean, you're basically taking your thoughts and you're running them through a funnel down onto a page into single words and letters to lay it out there, and it helps you see your own thoughts as you're putting them out there, and it helps move you towards action. Okay, so what's getting in your way? And then with that, what kind of self-talk messages contribute to that? What kind of beliefs do you have that are contributing to that? What kind of self talk and beliefs are stopping you or stymieing you from taking action towards making some kind of change of growth in your life? You want more, and yet there's things that pop into your head. I'm too busy. I don't have time for that. It's going to be too hard. I've already got a lot on my plate right now. Whenever I try to do that, I end up failing at that. I end up getting stuck again. I just can't get myself the motivation to keep doing that. That's too much for me. What if I fail again? What if I'm not enough to achieve that? Okay, what is showing up that is getting you stuck? Okay, so again, another prompt to chew on. Give yourself some time to think about that. Now, that's more focused on the internal barriers. Now, thinking about then the external barriers. What kind of external barriers or systems in your life? This could be family, it could be work, it could be social systems, it could be school, it could be systemic sorts of systems. What are you viewing as the things that are outside of you? These could be things you interact with and yet that are outside yourself. To some degree, they involve things that are outside of your control, right? Because you can only influence, well, you can only control you. You can influence others, but you can't control others. And you can only control you. But what are those external barriers that you feel like you're pushing up against or that contribute to not feeling like you can make the change that you're wanting to change? Are you moving against the momentum of the workplace that you work at, of the church that you work at, of the school that you're at? Like, what are you moving against? Does it feel like the way that family life is right now, that it's just that it's too hard within your that family system to make these changes? Like, what are the things that you're viewing as the barriers, that you're experiencing as the barriers? And again, you can think about what kind of thought life shows up there. What is the self-talk there? What are the beliefs there? What are the different kinds of rules that you may be believing? These within CBT would be called should rules, or intermediate sorts of beliefs that can be contributing to this as well. And these sorts of things are like, well, I should be doing this, I should not be doing this. And so you might think of any sort of um, situation that you're in, social situation, home life situation, whatever. What are the implicit kind of rules that are theirs, or should type rules that are there that you might identify that are contributing to feeling stuck? I should or must show up in this sort of way, and yet it doesn't leave much room or flexibility for something else that you're wanting out of life. And so maybe there's something there that needs to be explored around values, or maybe that rule needs to be softened up and you need to identify some other ways that you can be. Maybe that there needs to be more flexibility where there's too much rigidity. Okay. So those are some other questions that you can think about there. All right, on to some more prompts here. What would it look like to make the change? Can you picture it in your head? Okay, so this is a prompt to actually sit down, visualize. Can you picture it? Can you use words to create the picture of this change? Right? Like, can you write out a description? Can you write out a narrative? Can you write out a story of the change you're looking for? If you're really artistic, can you draw a picture of it? Can you even just speak it? Can you speak that change to yourself in a recording so you can hear it out loud, so you can play it to yourself? But what would it look like for this thing to be happening, for the business to be growing, for you to be having even more connection and relationships in your life? You're building your social circles, or you're improving some skill in some way. You're delving into some new hobby, or facing something that has been a challenge or daunting that you want to move into. You're living out more of the values that you want to be living. You're living more in a way that aligns with your beliefs, with your faith, your religious system. If you're a Christian, that you're living more aligned with Christ. You're living more aligned with what you read in the Bible. You're living in that way. You're serving in that way. And you want to be manifesting that more. You want to be acting on that more. You don't want it to just be something. Maybe if you want to be growing in your faith, you don't want it to just be, I just go to church on Sunday. I just do this, I just do that. Or maybe it's just things that I do, but I want it to be a real meaningful relationship. I want to be helping people. I want to be involved with people, whatever that means, whatever that growth means for you. What would it look like to be doing that? Okay. And then the next one, this is going to be some of the final steps here in this video, is what kind of steps would it take to make this happen? If you were to break this down to like some beginning steps, the middle steps, the end steps, that final end would be you're achieving that thing that you want. What would be the things that would have to happen in the middle? However difficult they may be, whatever challenges that might be there, if you could break that down into a beginning, middle, and an end where you see yourself achieving that goal, what are some practical steps you can think of that would go in there? And those are the type of things that could become goals, goalposts along the way that you can move towards. That's where developing smart goals, smart objectives could come in. And then finally, what is one small thing you can do right now? What is one small thing you can do today to begin the process, that you can do this week to begin that process towards whatever that change is? And then can you get even more specific with it? Can you think about, can you identify the thing you're going to do and the time you're going to make to do it? At at 8 p.m. on Wednesday night, I am going to sit down with my notepad and I'm gonna do the first problem. I'm gonna think about what my problem is. Like, what does it look like to do that very first thing? And is there anybody who can come alongside you that can help you keep you accountable towards this? And that might be somebody in your life. It could be a spouse, it could be a friend. But is there somebody that you can welcome in to join you in this change that you're looking for? Where might that fit in the process? So, final point, if you find these kind of questions helpful, but feel like you would benefit from having someone in your corner, someone who has experience working with people to help them change, to identify goals, to make significant changes in their life, to get unstuck, then coaching, life coaching could be right for you. If you're interested in working with me, please see my informational section where you can find out how to contact me. I've got counseling pages that provide links to how you can contact my office in order to schedule. We can set up a consultation call. I offer a 15-minute consultation call to determine if coaching would be right for you. So please reach out if you are interested in that. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Have a great day. And I look forward to making more videos about coaching topics and therapy topics and such things to come. So thanks again, and I plan on having more content in the future. Please see the following disclaimer. The views on this channel are solely my own for educational purposes. They don't represent my employer or any other entity. The channel does not create a therapist-client relationship and does not constitute medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Any suggestions or recommendations are used at your own risk.